going to be hopping.
Yeah.
Hopping.
Jumping,
popping. All the words like that. We're going to talk to Eric Crouch, the 2020 2001 Heisman Trophy winner, coming up in a little while. But in the meantime, got to pick our favorite food. We got to pick something. What do you want this week?
Man.
Something off the menu here at the elevated sports bar known as Let It Fly.
So last week,
yeah,
we had that nice food porn.
That was a nice spread.
Yeah, I was attracted to that taco pizza.
That taco pizza was good, man. I tell you, I've been thinking about it ever since we had it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's not even about like to me. I don't know. It was just something different. I mean, generally when I think about taco pizza, I'm like, oh, okay, it's taco on a pizza, man. But when I bit into it, man, I want to go back there and shake the chef head.
I liked it because, and they mentioned this, everything was made fresh here.
Yeah.
Like they made the salsa, you had that really good sour cream. Everything was, and I'm not even a big sour cream person.
Yeah,
I am not. Man. And it was really good.
Yeah,
and if you have a chance to come, so it's a special. Yeah. It's not here all the time, so it's a special. So when you come in,
taco pizza.
Let It Fly Sports Bar, ask them, hey, you get taco pizza tonight? And if they do, you can get hooked up and you'll be happy.
Tell them I sent you.
You say, I sent you to come get it. Yeah. Here's what's going on tonight.
Yeah.
When we're done, after interviewing Eric Crouch and giving you our keys to the game and prediction everything, DJ Skyscraper.
Is
that correct?
That's my boy.
He will be performing starting at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Of course, they'll have the game starting at 7.
Yeah.
Nebraska and Minnesota in Minneapolis.
The game.
Yeah,
the game.
And then Saturday. Also, by the way, we can give away tickets. It's coming up very soon to give away tickets for the Colorado game.
Yep.
That's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to go to that game. I think it'll be a blast.
Right.
Saturday they got college game day watch parties. They got the fun brunch.
Yeah.
Not the fun bunch.
Right.
Fun brunch.
This guy.
They also got $16 bottomless mimosas.
Yeah.
You walk out of here like, why are you leaning like that? I got a kickstand. And then Sunday, you got the new breakfast brunch menu, industry night, 9 to close as well. And as always, you can reserve a table. Go to the website, reserve a table. That way, when you come in, you're not sitting with, you find your own place.
Right.
You know how it is. Not everybody wants to sit with everybody.
Well, you know me, I'm a people's person. So
you want to sit with other people.
Where they at.
I want to sit with my people.
Yeah, no.
So reserve a table.
People, though,
reserve a table. It works very well.
I feel you.
So I'm looking forward to 2 things this season.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 things. One, I want to know if this whole streak of not going to bowl games gets broken.
Man.
And I feel bad for the band.
Yeah.
The band hadn't gone to a bowl game. None of these kids have been to a bowl game. The whole band.
Yeah.
Whether you're a senior or you're a freshman.
No doubt.
You ain't been to a bowl game.
Well, you know how I feel, man. I always talk about 51st dates, bro.
Yep.
Man, like it's something about like, being a Husker fan is exciting.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of tired of holding on to what it was.
Sure, I understand.
That old tradition.
Yeah.
And it's like every single time, new game, new me.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden we get those end results, man. I'm like, all right, man.
You know what Logan asked me yesterday?
Yeah. What's that?
He said, is Nebraska football like Central football?
Man.
And I was like, yeah, they had some really great times.
I think so.
And even before that, before, McMenamin was there, was a lot of talent, can't win the big one.
For sure.
Then Ball comes in, they win some.
Yeah.
And then these last couple of years have been just rough.
But
like Nebraska.
But the thing about Central is you can kind of blame it on OPS as a whole.
Part of it, that's a big deal.
But when it comes to Nebraska football,
blame it on the Big Ten,
man. Hey, low key.
Can we blame it on somebody? Blame it on somebody.
Man, like I'm not here. Like I'm not doing in Matt Rhule. I ain't saying nothing bad about him.
No.
I'm just saying like we've been there, done that.
Sure.
Like I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. You got to win.
How about the Rhule-Aid? Are you drinking the Rhule-Aid? I'm drinking the Rhule-Aid. I interviewed him. I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago,
How was that?
On a very hot day. Let me tell you a story real quick. So they give us parking passes, and I'm with my wife because we had just come from this river cruise thing we had done the night before in Brownville, Nebraska. Not Browns, just Brownville. So anyway, we're coming back from that. They give us the parking pass. It's Lot A. We go to the first Lot A, full. First day of school.
Yeah.
Second Lot A, full. She's like, Harper Schramm Smith, go over there. I bet you there's parking. So we drive over there. And there's a spot. Then we get out and start walking to the stadium. Well, we should have gone this way. Instead, we went this way.
You got your steps in
we walked all the way. And by the time I got there, I was soaked. It was hot. It was like 102 degrees.
Yeah.
And so all I had to put on was
102 feel like 110.
Exactly. And that day it was hot. So I had on I put on this Nebraska pullover thing that I had in case it got cold the night before. That's all I had to wear.
For sure.
So in the interview, you see me with Nebraska. I never wear Nebraska gear on the air. I'm a non-biased.
Yeah, you gotta be.
I'm a journalist.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I have it on because that's all I had.
Right.
Bro was sweating. And I had no choice. But anyway, he was like he always is. He's really good.
Yeah.
He answers all your questions.
Right.
But I love what he said about the 3-3-5 defense.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about a lot of people look at it and they go, okay, how are you going to stop the Minnesota running games, the Iowa run games, those power teams, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to stop them? And he said, well, we had a 4-man front last year, and we were the worst rush defense in all the Big Ten. So no reason not to do something different.
Yeah.
And they are. And the great thing about the 3-3-5 is when you line up, think about the way it looks. You got 3 guys and you got 3 guys. Well, the 2 guys on the end, those 2 outside linebackers are also rush ends. So you can make it look a 5-man front. You can make it like a 4-man front. Make it like a 3-man front. It's the offense responsibility to figure out which one of those other guys is coming. Yeah. Are they both coming?
Right.
So you have a 5-man rush. Are they just one coming? Or is maybe somebody from the secondary coming and one of those outside linebackers are going to drop out?
Yeah.
And then you fill in with the zone blitz. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen. I like the 3-3-5. I do worry that maybe they're not big enough. They got Ty Robinson, big guy. They got Hutmacher, who's a big guy. But then after that, Elijah Judy, you haven't heard much from him. The transfer, Blaise Gunnarson's not a huge guy. He's 265. But I look at them all and I say, all you got to do is run the ball, keep it away, don't turn it over, don't make mistakes. You can beat Minnesota.
So has there ever been a time where you felt like, how the fans coach from the stands, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like there's a time where the fans are actually like, right?
Sure.
Like,
man,
like when
sure.
you say that to me, it sounds like 51st Day.
Sometimes,
like,
sometimes the fans are right. Yeah.
I mean, I know we were trying to figure out about the receiver core. You have Betts, he decided to leave. That was huge. But like, do we, from your perspective, you think we got guys that can go up there and go get it?
I think they do if one of the freshmen can step up.
Yeah.
Like Malachi Coleman or Jalen Lloyd. If one of those guys can step up, because I believe Billy Kemp's going to get his.
Yep, for sure.
I think Marcus Washington's going to get his. I think they got some chances for guys to get theirs. And then along with the tight ends, which should be really good.
Yeah.
And getting the ball out of the backfield. But here we got coming up on the show because I see our guest coming up. We're going to break down the matchup against Minnesota a little bit later.
Can't wait.
We're going to have our keys to the game.
Yep.
And we'll have our predictions.
Yeah.
All of that coming up after we interview our guest first. But the key to this whole thing working, the whole thing, is them bringing Eric Crouch in here. That's the key to the whole thing. I saw him come in.
You can see him.
I saw him down there.
Lights.
I saw him down there coming up, but he'll be fine. Game starts again at 7:00.
Yeah.
And from what I understand is there's not going to be a lot of dilly-dallying. Sometimes they say a game starts at 7 and it's 7:10.
No doubt.
From what I understand is like 7:04.
No, exactly.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Fox is getting on it, so that'd be cool. And with number one team.
When you talk to Coach Rhule, what was the like, aside from schemes, everybody got some people, everybody come in and bring something different because it's them. Yeah. Like, what do you think aside from that? Like, is it in them or on them? What does Coach Rhule have that's going to like make this team?
Well, I think it's not.
And I'm not expecting like
it's not
10 wins.
I don't think it's on the field. I really don't. I don't think it's X's and O's, which is important.
Right.
But I think it is figuring out how you convince them that they can win.
For sure.
They've been losing for so long. And a lot of these guys have been in those teams losing so long. You have to convince them that they can win. That they can go out there in the fourth quarter with, 5-10 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
And come away with the win.
Yeah.
I thought I saw Eric walking outside just now. Did you guys see him? I think I saw him walking just now a little while ago outside. I think he was on the phone. If you can convince them of that they can win, which is not easy to do, right? If you can convince them of that, then what happens on the field, then that's what's important. But at this point, it's more than just, can the quarterback complete passes? Can the running backs not fumble? Can we not get penalties? I think it's more than that. It's about convincing them, because you know what they say, if you feel good about yourself, you're going to play good.
Yeah, you sound like Dion. Hey, come on, man.
If you're negative about yourself, there's a good chance that something bad's going to happen because you're thinking that way.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I hope they're not thinking that way. They've gotten past that. And I think that's the thing that Matt Rhule does better than most coaches. There are 2 rebuilds already. It's about building culture.
Does he remind you of any other coach in the past?
For Nebraska?
That you've interviewed. I mean, for me, man, I'm excited about today just for the fact that, like, I'm kind of a fan of you. All the years that you've interviewed the coaches, covered the games, been an elite journalist. Like, I just want to know from your perspective, like,
that's all real nice stuff to say.
No, it's just real.
Yeah,
you know me.
The only other coach I can think that reminds me of him, none of the Nebraska coaches do at all, because Bo didn't have the media savvy
for sure.
that he has. Coach Osborne, very quiet guy, meek when he talks about stuff. On the other hand, Matt Rhule's, the son of a preacher. He can be loud. He can preach. Yeah. Obviously, he's not Frank Solch at all, and he's not Mike Riley at all. He's none of those guys. Yeah. The closest I can think of to somebody, and this is not this. I'm not saying he is this guy.
Go ahead.
But when I was covering LSU years ago, Nick Saban was the head coach, and Nick Saban was very similar, where he would talk so much about culture and strength and conditioning and making sure that guys did the right thing and earned their spot.
I feel what you're saying.
He reminds me of that. All that stuff that this is Nick Saban way back at LSU. Mm-hmm. So he had been at Michigan State, had some success, won 10 games left, went to LSU, a place that had some success, but not great success. And came in talking about how do we build this culture? How do we figure out the best way to win? And that's all Matt Rhule is talking about. Sure. He says over and over again, you have to earn the right to play. You have to earn the right to go to a bowl. You have to earn the right to be the number 1 or number 2 guy on the depth chart. Yeah. And that's something that Saban talked a lot about back in the day. So that's what he reminds me a little bit about. But not saying he's
I feel you.
I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to find somebody in my life
around this as I watch.
Yeah. Somebody in my life, because in my life, there's a lot of coaches that were really good coaches on the field, but not the kind of personality he is. Like, his personality it's not even of a coach. It's like a stand-up comedian a little bit. Like, he's got a little bit of that in him.
Yeah.
I listened. Did you watch any of the? So there's a 3-part, now 4-part series behind the scenes of Nebraska fall camp. Did you watch it on YouTube?
Yeah, I did.
So there's parts on there where he's talking about all kinds of things. And one of the things he talks about, and he says it's real calm. He goes, Tuesday and Wednesday, we're physical.
Yeah.
He said on Thursday, we're intentional. And on Friday, we're fast. Yeah. That's what we're doing. And that is, tell me as a young person, what you want me to do every day. Right. Keep consistent about it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all the messages sometimes you get from coaches that aren't consistent. It doesn't help you out. Yeah, no doubt. You had good coaches. Coach Allman was a good coach. Yeah. Has shown over the period of now 25 some years. Yeah. He knows what the hell he's doing.
Exactly.
Coach Mack, one of the best X's and O guys in college basketball. Consistent messages, right?
Yep. Very consistent. But also, I think overall, like, at the end of the day, expectation. Yeah. And if you didn't meet up to that, you didn't play.
Right.
So that's what it comes down to. So if
you
that's
with me, you're not out there. You with me.
Yeah. So if that's what you're saying about Coach Rhule, I 100% get that.
Yeah, that's what he is. And he has an expectation of guys doing their job and doing it correctly. And that's what he's looking for. Yeah. Quick, let's look at some of the players that you got to look out for tonight from Minnesota. Yeah. Everybody's seen the quarterback. He played against Nebraska last year. Kakmanis came in. He wasn't great. He was okay. He actually made one really big play. He had a 16-yard run that converted a 3rd down that really kept the drive going, that made the difference. Yeah. But this is what I like about Minnesota. They went out and they said, we're losing a lot of guys. We're replacing them with really quality players from the next level behind. So they went out and got a kid named Sean Tyler. I've watched video from him. He's from
running back.
He's from Western Michigan.
Yep.
495 calories, so almost 500 carries. This is a guy who's experienced. He's a veteran. Mm-hmm. Almost 2,900 yards, 5.7 yards a carry. I'm going to take that from my running back. 23 touchdowns. And a couple years ago, he was in a semifinal list for the Jet Award because he had 4 kickoff return for touchdown. Yeah. This is a really quality player. Went to Western Michigan, brought him back.
Yeah, he's a grinder.
And he is like, so he's one of those guys that I don't know if he's an NFL back. Yeah. But I know
he's going to be a really good guy
in Minnesota's
for sure. All going in their offense, in their position. Yeah. It's like
in their
he chose the right school.
He did. And then you got a young kid in Darius Taylor. He's a freshman out of Detroit.
Okay.
He was one of the best running backs come out of Michigan. So he's just a freshman, but he's got blinding speed. Everybody in camp who's seen him play, they say he's going to be electric. Chris Autman-Bell is still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris Autman-Bell, when he got there, my kid was in 2nd grade. He's been there 7 years. There's always
like a few players that you feel like been there
forever. Like Buster Rhymes for Oklahoma, people always talk about. Yeah. He's been there. He's got injured a couple times. Yeah, for sure. He left the program for a minute, came back to the program. Yeah. So he's supposedly healthy. But they went into the portal and they brought some other wide receivers.
Yeah.
They have Daniel Jackson Jr. Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
Who they got him. Elijah Spencer.
Yeah.
This guy came from UNC Charlotte. 85 catches, 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns.
Yep.
And Corey Crooms as well. They got him as well. They brought him in from Western Michigan. But our guest is joining us. Come on over here. You're here. Let's bring him over. The 2001 Heisman Trophy winner, of course, Millard North, owner of many businesses, very, very busy, and dad of Carson Crouch joining us. And Lexi. I don't know if Lexi was around when I first met you, because Carson was little the first time I met Eric Crouch.
Out of the house now, so.
Yeah, that is true. How you feeling?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Yeah. How you been, man? My fault, man.
That's all you do.
I should have hit him in the face.
You guys do whatever you want. That's fine with me. That's cool. That's cool. It's cool. What's the feeling like for a guy who obviously played down there in Lincoln? It's a couple of hours before the game. New era. I know you've met Matt Rhule. I know you talked to the players. What's that feel like for you?
I'll just be pacing around the locker room right now, thinking about that first snap and that first series. But no, I'm excited. This is it's a new opportunity for this team to show what they've been working on, and it's just exciting for all of us former players and fans that are out there. It's a different game on a Thursday, so
it is a little
kicking off the college football season. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, as a player, especially a leader on your team, we were just talking about drinking the Kool-Aid.
The Rhule-Aid.
The 51st dates. Like, how do you keep that optimistic approach that it's not going to be what it used to be? Don't you want to win after a while?
That's what you work so hard for. I think it's a tough position that they're in, because everyone's wanting them to get back to the 90s and the Huskers that dominated for all those years. And I think we're here just to really support this team and these players. And it's hard to compare. They don't know. They just don't know. And
half of them wasn't born, or all of them wasn't born.
And I'm sure they know exactly. They just weren't. Time's gone by, and now I think Coach Rhule is kind of like slowly, implementing. Bringing guys in to talk, or hey, maybe he's showing clips of the past, or talking about how we need to get back. He's used that word respect. Yeah. And I agree with him. Yeah. I think that I just want to, for me as a football player, if I was on the field today, I just want to play in a way that's going to get respect from my teammates and respect from my coaches. And really, at the end of the day, that's all you can do is play the hardest football you can. And these are a lot of young players. There's some new faces, but that's really what it's about. It's about just going out there and giving it your all. So to me, I was thinking, what am I looking for when I'm watching? What's going to stick out to me? And I just think it's going to be the effort. I'm watching about attitude and effort. Yeah. I can't sit here and go, oh yeah, Nebraska, I got to win in the game or anything like that. I just want to look at some of these things that are, what is their ability to come back after a bad play? What is their ability, to keep it pushed for all four quarters?
About culture.
Culture is about what Matt Rhule's put in place. You went down and talked to Jeff Sims a little bit, right? And worked with him a little bit. What'd you guys talk about? What'd you work on with him? Yeah,
they were working some pitches. Yeah. I said, well, shoot, I can help with that. If you're gonna do some throws and things like that, I'll just watch, But I ran enough option in Nebraska.
How many snaps along with practice?
Oh,
you told me 100,000 or something like that?
It had to be.
Yeah. With all the practices leading up to Millard North, then Nebraska.
Yeah. Oh, I want to say carries, it was over 700 carries just at Nebraska. Yeah. In my time. Yeah. So it was, throw all the practice in the Millard North and, all that stuff. I was washed up before I even got to the NFL.
You took some punishment.
I was washed up.
Yeah. So what's the key? What are you showing him? Is it simply the thumb down? Is it timing? What are you trying to help him with?
It's just giving them some little tips and tricks to get the ball out a little bit quicker and to really attack. You know, sometimes I think quarterbacks in the option game, and I'm not expecting them to run a ton of option, but
Sure.
you know, I think with Jeff, his ability to run, I think they want to get on the edge a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's just like, how do you absorb that defensive end and do it quickly so that you can get the edge versus getting strung out and tackled for a loss? So it's all about speed and attacking. And I think that it's about making them make a decision so that you can't be wrong. You know, and when you do that, you get numbers. Option's a number game.
Right.
Triple option, you're taking out two guys, and just saying, you know, with the dual threat, you're taking out one guy. You're reading him. He makes a move. It's just really similar to zone read.
Yeah, wow. I'm just blown as I'm listening to this.
Yeah. And you're going to see some fullback. And so you're going to have that pressure in the inside, and they have to worry about the edge. Plus, Jeff can stand up and throw the ball.
You can.
That's straight old new triple option.
Because, like, for me, I'm not expecting, like, it's essentially you took the words out of, like, my thoughts. What I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not looking for the Huskers to just, like, immediately just. It's not even about. I'm not even thinking about getting back to what it was. Yeah. I'm talking about, like you said, the respective coaches and things like that. Like how do you, approach each game, each practice, and things like that. But with all of that being said, or whatever, do you feel like Coach Rhule's in a position where he's in a sense of urgency, where he's like trying to win now, though, versus like, because sometimes you can have conversations where I feel like you can say, well, Coach Rhule is good at rebuilding programs, and he took this from that, and it took that. I understand that, but like as a head coach, like, how do you think he balances that sense of urgency of trying to like win for win?
Oh, he's trying everything he can do. Win today.
Win for the seniors. I mean, these guys that have been here. Yeah.
I think it's important. Obviously, wins help. And I think that we've gotten off to some really slow starts recently. So I think a win on the road early in the season against a Big Ten opponent would be a very, very, very good start to the year. And I know I'm not ruling it out. I mean, look, they're saying 7 points or whatever this is. Like, that's a touchdown. Come on, this could go either way.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What was the feeling like for you? So obviously it doesn't work out with Scott Frost. It's a guy who played here, who bled here, helped win a national championship. Was that tough as a former player to watch what happened to him? Like, as a guy,
Yeah, I mean, it was tough because we all were rooting for him to be successful, and it just didn't work out, for whatever reasons. And that was unfortunate because he's a teammate, and he was a quarterback. You just felt like, man, you really want this. Yeah, you want this to work out. And when it didn't, it was just like, man, it was just sad to see, because it was a little bit of a rough ending for him here at Nebraska. And I think there's probably some hurt feelings, I think maybe by both the fans and maybe Scott himself. I haven't talked to him since, but I just think that might be the case. But Nebraska has to move on, and I do think that it was the right decision to do that. Right. And Coach Rhule is very well respected. Everywhere I've gone around the country, people always say, you've got a good coach. And so that makes me feel good, because not just us here drinking the Rhule-Aid, it's people on the outside. They see, what he's done and the type of person he is, and they say that we're in good hands. And so that makes you feel a lot better from around a national perspective. No doubt.
Man, have you ever felt like in the midst, and I'm saying this as we're leading up to this new era today. Yeah. As you watch the painful years of the losing seasons and how we lost, why haven't you ever felt compelled to? Is it because you got other things going on? Or just,
to coach, you mean?
Yeah, like something about.
He's a busy man.
Like, I think that's it. I don't know what I would do if Nebraska came calling, but I'd have probably some type of a decision to make there. But right now, for me, there's a lot going on with our business, so it's one of these things that just takes up all of my time. Yeah. And I really wish that I could get involved with the program more and be a little bit more like, man, I just help them kind of get back, and I'm sure there's a lot of guys. I mean, Coach Rhule's probably been contacted by several former players already. Like, man, I can help you out. I can help you out.
I can help you out. Calls every day.
I can help you out. But, you know, I don't know. That would be an interesting conversation. But right now, again, I'm focusing on just supporting them. If they call me to come down and there's something they want me to be at an event, I'll be there. And that's how I show my support right now. Watching them on TV, going to the games, and just learning about these new players and these coaches. And I'm excited because I just want, I'm just so like, I feel bad, because man, my experience was like so good at Nebraska, and we were dominating, and we would win a majority of the games. And I just feel like they're not getting that same experience, like where you walk out and you just like kind of know we got a high probability, we're winning today. Not like we're like, oh man, we're down, or it was never like that. It was just the mindset of, we're going to do our job, and we're going to take it to you. Let's
kind of talk about like your playing days when you were at Nebraska. Obviously, Heisman Trophy winner, 1 of 3. Did you expect what happened for you to happen the way it did? Like, man,
not really. I've got a lot of heartaches, getting there. I mean, it's not easy. I almost stopped playing football my sophomore year, and
why was that?
I just they named Bobby the starter that year, and I was like, man, I had so much support from our teammates and some of the upper guys, and I just felt like, man, maybe football just isn't for me, and it's too bad because I mean, I wish I wouldn't have felt that way, but I think a lot of 19. I mean, I'm talking to my son right now about it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Like he's playing college ball. It's like, man, this is tough. This is it's not for everybody. So. But you're so glad that like when you do decide to like fight through it, how difficult it is, but it's just such the right decision, because you don't ever regret it. You're like, man, I went through it, and I'm glad that I did it. And you never know what can happen. I mean, I'm glad that I didn't quit that day.
Oh yeah.
I know that my life would have been a lot different than it is today.
For sure.
Eric Crouch joining us here on Let It Fly show. I remember asking you, this is years ago, I'd asked you about, some of your favorite plays. And you stopped me and you told me about like a fumble you had. Instead of it being a really good play, you remembered a play that wasn't great. It's like you guys hold on to these things, right? Yeah. I mean, as a top athlete.
Was it the fumble at Texas?
Yeah, Texas. Yeah, broke your home winning streak.
About that.
Yeah, it's crazy how that's.
That's one of them. People always ask me about what play, and before I get it out, it's like Oklahoma, Missouri, they're not all this stuff. And it's kind of funny. But for me, like there's a couple plays that really stick out. And I don't think a lot of people really look at these as like that big of a play. But like we're like 4th and maybe 3 or something in the Big 12 championship, and I ran in a touchdown. It was a really big play.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good Texas team.
Oh yeah.
We had lost to them earlier that year. So that was a really big play. I made a nice cut and got into the end zone. That was a tough game. That was a physical game. I got beat the crap out of me. But it's like a play like that, or Notre Dame throwing in overtime and Tracy Wistrom catching the ball on a what I thought was maybe a 4th and 9. Or a 3rd and 9, like one of those long, you got to throw it. Like got to make it happen. And Tracy ran a beautiful route, got just enough separation from his guy, and I threw him the ball, and we continued down the field and won and put it in overtime. Yeah, plays like that, that I don't think a lot of people like really understand how important they were. Yeah. People might remember the touchdown in the end zone at Notre Dame, but they don't remember that down and that how big of a play that was to really just execute it and be on the same page. Like Tracy Wistrom running his route, and my ability to throw the ball, which wasn't very good, but I made it. It made it happen. That's how you do. Yeah.
So what about like how like being a Heisman Trophy winner, like that's ingrained forever? How has that impacted your life to where you're at today?
I mean, it's almost every day that
you live at the Heisman house.
Yeah.
I mean, that's big.
Got my own car. Some Nissan. I got my own bedroom. No.
Right. Yeah.
I've never been invited to go to the Heisman house. So one of these days,
to hang with the mascots.
Yeah. No, that'd be kind of fun. But honestly, it's I really enjoy, wearing that and shouldering that because it is a really awesome honor to have a Heisman Trophy. And the older that I get, every year that goes by, it seems to mean a little bit more and more because I get entrenched more with it. Like I've spent another year, I've met more people. Like I'm just.
We had your 20th anniversary a couple years ago.
Yeah. I mean, 22 years later, it's like, wow, that went by pretty fast. And so. For me, it was a special day because one, it was an award that was won on behalf of the team and the university, but also it was a, 9/11 that year. So going down and experiencing, 9/11 and Ground Zero and that, going down there with spending some time with the, firefighters and the first responders and taking pictures. And man, I walked out of there, I had autographed helmets by them, so they were the true heroes. It was just a special year, with that happening and it really just made football seem distant second to life. And so build those relationships and you play for another reason.
The hotel we were in was right above it.
And I went to
that feeling.
I went to that museum. It changed my life.
Because how old were you? How old were you?
I was 11.
Yeah.
So that was the what do they call it now? It's like a memorial, but there's two big
the freedom center.
So I can attest to what you're saying.
Yeah, it gives you that feeling, no doubt.
Walking out, I'm looking up and just imagine it. Kind of like changed my whole.
You were in the Oculus.
Yeah,
you went through that.
So
that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about because we used to always joke that the most pressure you could have here in Nebraska is like the coach, maybe the governor. There's the quarterback of the Nebraska. Could you quantify the pressure that's on Jeff Sims tonight as now the leader?
You better win, Jeff.
The only show in town.
I guess I tried hard. I knew that pressure was there.
Yeah.
I just tried to have fun. I tried to not think about the pressure. I mean, it's more today with all the social media and things of that nature. I just had a few
responsibility to business.
Yeah. Imagine if you had NIL, bro.
I kind of wonder, like, I don't know who would have, took a chance on me.
Everybody.
I did have 40 some games I played in, so 4 years of starting down there, I might have been able to
I would have worked,
walk out with a car at least.
I tell Michael, and I even tell you, you're my favorite Husker of all time.
Thanks,
man.
Josh. Appreciate
that. That is awesome. How many? Because you mentioned it's a hard game you guys play.
Yeah.
What's surgery? Where are you at surgery wise?
Wow. I think 16, shoulders, knees, ankles, hips, sports hernias, you name it. I'm hoping that everything's kind of like done right now. Unless I have some type of something creep up on me the older I get, but I feel pretty good actually. I feel pretty good. I broke my back a couple years ago in an ATV accident, and that was kind of scary.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
I was scary.
How long was the recovery process for that?
Probably about a year. It took me about a year to recover from that, but I'm doing much better and I'm very lucky. Things could have been a lot worse. So it's good that, and I had kind of like some low back stuff that I think maybe this break kind of maybe fix that a little bit.
Yeah, right.
So it's kind of adjustment. Just a little bit of adjustment. Yeah. Kind of like, okay, that's better.
Hey, aren't you doing 7-on-7?
We were doing a lot of 7-on-7. Yeah. We actually, my brother, and Ryan and myself, we put a lot of time into that company, the three of us, and loved it. It was so much fun. Yeah. We had so much fun coaching and running the league, and our wives were helping us, and family and friends started kicking in. And the last year we did it was at Tranquility, and we had a lot of kids show up, and then we had my brother started having kids.
Yeah.
And ours were getting out of the house, and it's like, okay, what are we gonna do? And it's like, well, we need all three of us to do this. So we decided we had a company from Texas come and buy it from us.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
We kind of, I don't know if we regret, getting rid of it, but it was another one of those things where, you can bite off a little bit too much sometimes in life, and it can burn you out. And so you just got to be careful of those things and being able to put your time and your energy in it. And we didn't want to fail. So we just decided that was the best thing to do, was to sell it.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier, talking to your son about going through the process of playing college football. He's at Midland.
Midland,
How is he dealing with the whole process?
I'm pretty proud of him. He's, he's been moved around a little bit since he got up there. He was a receiver and a kicker when he came in, and they moved him to corner.
Oh, wow.
And then they just recently moved him to safety. So, I just tell him keep his head down and grind and stay positive. And he is only a sophomore.
Right.
And, there are things that he needs to do to improve. And I think he knows that. So as long as he knows, like, hey man, I can get better. There's things I can do to make my team better. And you know, I think he's got a good opportunity there with Jamrock. He'll take good care of him.
He's a good man. Yeah. He's a good man. No doubt.
And they got a good program, man. They won 8 games last year, and they got a chance to get in the playoffs. And I just, you know, it's going to be fun to watch. You got a good game, home game. On Saturday.
That's good. You take care of Nebraska tonight, and you have all Saturday to check out.
That is good.
Yeah.
How did you get into I'm trying to see how I can say it. The playground construction.
The recreation field.
The recreation.
Man, you know, I was answering this question. Someone asked me this here recently, like, what playgrounds? What are you talking about?
Do you remember when we were on the Speakers Bureau years ago?
Yeah.
And you told me you did it. I was like,
yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
It's also
that was years ago.
You leave Nebraska, you do your thing in the NFL, and then you know, you're back selling playgrounds. What is this? You know? Well, I had a guy that had introduced me to his family that was selling their company and moving to South Carolina. The Churchich family.
Okay.
Actually related to Bob Churchich, that played quarterback in Nebraska. And he does the same thing, or did. He's recently retired, right?
Yeah.
But he did the same thing in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy, like, that we both played quarterback in Nebraska and kind of did the same thing. But that's how I got involved. I just shadowed them for 90 days, 3 months. Loved the fact of building these sites, you know, what it did for the community, bringing people together. You get to see these playgrounds and splash pads and the things that we do with our sports. It's just, it's become a pretty fun company to run and be a part of. And really now we're kind of engaged with like this feel of bringing people together and, you know, doing it at a high level and with quality equipment. And I hope that we have the opportunity to continue to do this for years and years.
For sure. Do you guys do any of the special needs ones? You know,
we've done.
Those are amazing.
Quite a few. Our largest one that we just finished was in York, Nebraska, Peyton Parker Lane Playground. It went 3 boys that had passed away that were all in wheelchairs. So really, the playground had a lot of accessible wheelchair items. That basically the design went like this: like anywhere an able-bodied kid can get to, a kid in a wheelchair can get to.
I work in
I love that.
the developmental disability field.
And
then also, you know, I try to do a lot of things for the inner city at North Omaha. So I'm just thinking, my wheels turning. Like, man, maybe one day we'll put something, you know, in the area.
Put something together out of that. Last thing,
just call me. You got my number.
You got his number. Yeah,
for sure.
So what happens tonight?
You know what? I think it's going to be a close game. I do. I feel like there's a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
I think, you know, the energy's there. I think there's some pressure, but I really think that Nebraska is going to show up and show this is a new era that's beginning. You know, I'm not guaranteeing a win.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I would love to see Nebraska win this game. There's no doubt. I think a lot of us would.
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to respect what Minnesota's done over the length of the last, few years. So they're a winning team. They're coached well. But that first game is always kind of a weird one, you know.
You never know what to expect.
Never know what to expect. You know, who's prepared, who isn't prepared. Somebody's injured, someone's not. How's camp going so far? Are you ready or not? And so a little bit of that could happen tonight. But I really just hope that they play sound football, that they have great effort and that they have great attitudes at playing. And I think they will. I mean, you know, a lot of those players are on this team the last few years have had pretty good attitudes when we see them play.
Yep.
You know, they've been resilient. You know, even though they're losing, you wouldn't even know it, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
No, it's a good thing. It's
a
good thing.
Because you could look at it and go, maybe they don't care to lose. They're not getting that upset.
Well, you eliminated against Iowa last year. That was a horrible season, a tough season. You lose your coach, all that stuff. And you still manage to play a great game and beat Iowa.
Yeah.
So I think that shows the intestinal fortitude of those kids.
But that's why I appreciate what you said earlier. Like, don't look at it as far as like wins and losses versus if the team does win or lose, how are they doing it? You know, is it a respectable loss? How's the O-line playing and all those type of things? So I'm gonna look at it different because of what you said.
This year is a big year because there's going to be a lot of learning. There's going to be a lot of trying to tie this whole thing together and build an identity. I haven't heard that word for a while or used it, but like you got to have some type of identity out there.
Both sides of the ball,
on both sides of the ball. Like I'm kind of like, who are they going to be? What kind of offenses are we looking at here and defensive structure? Like it'll be exciting. I like it when it's showtime, you know, because you get to all those things you've been working on in camp, and now you're going against somebody different. It's going to be a pretty exciting game.
Showtime or prime time next week.
I know.
You
look too far
going to go to Colorado? Are you going to go?
I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be an amazing thing. We're going up early.
Oh, fun.
Just to experience
I'll bet.
how that's going to be.
Yeah, what do you
There's
think?
a lot
What do
of
you think
energy
about
around that. Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
with the energy and stuff.
He's a winner. I mean, he wins.
Sure.
Yep.
And, whether you agree with the way he does it or not, he likes to win. He's competitive. So he is, whether he's got players or he doesn't have players, I think he'll find a way to surprise people this year. I don't know which team it's going to be, what team's going to be, but I just think that there's a reason they hired him. And, I think a lot of people look at this as it's prime time, the show, the media, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And there's part of that, but I do think that he's got good football knowledge, and I think he relates to the players pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think that he brings like that whole new energy, to the players.
Yeah, no doubt. Eric, man, we appreciate it,
Always
man.
good
Thank
seeing
you
you.
very much.
Always
Always good seeing you.
Josh,
We
always good
appreciate
seeing
you doing it, coming in. Thanks a
Anytime,
lot.
just give me a call.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Good
we'll
luck
talk
on
shop.
everything.
All right,
We
man.
appreciate it. Thanks
Thank
a lot. Eric Crouch, of course, 2001 Heisman Trophy winner and Millard North superstar.
Yeah.
Like you're a Central superstar. That man's a Millard North
I'm a
superstar. Is
Central
what he
le-
is.
no, I'm playing.
Legend, right? Legend. My fault. I forgot. All right, keys to the game.
for
I've
sure.
got 3 keys to the game. These
I want to hear yours.
are the keys.
I don't have any keys. I'm just looking for L's and W's.
Who's the DJ Khaled? He's got the keys. You know that
Oh,
part?
yeah.
That one song he's
Major
got like
keys.
the keys.
Yeah,
He
DJ
got the
Khaled?
keys. Yeah,
You
DJ Khaled.
crazy.
Yeah. Here's the stat I want you to win.
All right.
Win, and this is simple. Yards per play, okay?
For sure.
Win the yards per play stat.
Okay.
Nebraska has not been able to do that against Minnesota. So in 2022, last year, Minnesota went for 65 plays at 4.6 yards a play. Nebraska, 4.4. Lost it.
Dang.
Minnesota in 2001, 5.8. Nebraska broke even at 5.8. 2020, 73 plays for Minnesota, 5.3 yards. Nebraska only had 4.7 yards a play. 2019, it was 7.2 to 4.1. The last time Nebraska really won this was the last time they beat them. They beat them in 2018 and had 65 plays for 5.7. They went off on them. Went off on them. Here it is. 73 plays, 9.2 yards per play.
Yeah.
In 2018. And Minnesota had 6.5.
I'm up here
Win the yards per play stat.
for sure.
If you look at say you don't watch the game at all, and at the end you pull up the stat sheet, look how many plays total they ran, and see how many yards per play they had, and whoever wins that most likely wins this game.
Yeah.
That's my number 1 key.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Yep. Number 2.
I know this is not a big Matt Rhule is not a fan of this one. He doesn't like we got to get to a fast start. He doesn't like that.
Man, and that's what I complain about.
He's not a fan of that. He's not a
complaint.
fan of that. But listen,
That's my biggest complaint.
win the first quarter margin.
Well, the first play of the game is going to be up the middle.
Well, I don't care what the first play is or the last play, but outscore the team you're playing in the first quarter.
Yeah.
I will tell you why. Okay, so Nebraska the last 2 years have ranked 84th in first, and there's 130 teams. 84th and 100th.
Yeah.
So you're at the bottom third of college football when it comes to first quarter scoring.
But why though? Why?
I think part of it is
hopefully it comes back to my
part
point
of it is
about
just
starting fast.
Part of it is just some issues, turnovers, putting yourself behind the chains.
Weak
If you remember the first couple years under Scott Frost, whenever they didn't have a penalty in a drive, they got points.
Yep.
But when they had any kind of adversity, they couldn't. I'm going to tell you why. This shows you exactly why winning the first quarter matters.
I'm listening.
Ohio State, Kansas State, Florida State, Tennessee, Bama, BYU, Coastal Carolina, TCU, top 15 teams last year in first quarter margin of victory, scoring more points than your opponent. Averaged 9.8 wins.
Man.
The bottom 15 averaged 3.8 wins. Outscore your opponent in the first quarter. Doesn't mean you're going to win automatically, but it gives you a much better chance to win.
The way that you outscore your opponent in the first quarter, obviously, aside from X's and O's offense and defense, you got to start fast.
Well, that's part of it. You may not score the first drive, but don't let them score the first drive. You may not score the second drive. Don't let them score the second drive.
It's almost like don't play to not lose. Like, just play your game.
And he doesn't do that. Matt Rhule's never been that kind of guy. He's not a not lose guy.
This is new.
He may lose a game this year because he is not trying to be conservative. He's not being conservative.
Yeah, conservative.
So yeah. And then the last one,
right?
3. Just this week.
Yep.
Be like Iowa.
All right.
This week,
he said
just this week.
I feel you.
You know how long it's been since Minnesota beat Iowa?
Man, let me say 20 years.
Not that long. But 2014.
Man, that's a long time.
PJ Fleck has lost 6 straight to Iowa.
Yeah.
They haven't beat them since, and that's their big rival.
Yeah.
And they haven't done it. Here's why. The 3 things that Iowa does that Nebraska has not been able to do the last couple of years: be like Iowa, win close games.
Yep. Oh, we definitely can do that.
Turnover margin, and win special teams.
But that all sounds like culture to me.
And coaching. Like you have to say, we're going to win special teams. Here's Iowa to show you how good they've been special teams wise. Okay.
Yep.
They were 4th last year in special teams efficiency. They were 6th in 2021, 4th in 2020, and 4th in 2019. That's not accidental.
Right.
That is being deliberate in your preparation when you're talking about special teams. They say, we're going to beat you in the 3rd phase of the game, and they do it.
Right.
And that's how they beat Minnesota. Winning close games, playing well late, not turning the ball over, and winning special teams.
Yeah.
Be like Iowa just this week.
And you know why it's good to listen to you?
Why?
Because you talk to coach and you got years of experience.
I'm old. I'm old. That's why.
Trust Michael.
All right. So prediction time.
All right, man.
I'm gonna go first.
You go. You go first.
All right.
You go first. You've been on the road. So
let me give you a couple things I think I know will happen this week. Tonight. Things I think I know will happen tonight.
Yep.
One, Nebraska's going to give up some big plays to Minnesota because of the way that defense is set up and the way the responsibility is on those safeties and corners to tackle. I could see a couple of busts happening and Minnesota getting a couple of big plays. Don't freak out over it. They're going to happen.
Right.
Big bust plays happen against this defense.
Yep.
Don't freak out over it. It's going to happen. But I'm telling you, Nebraska is going to be able to run the ball inside the tackles against Minnesota. They're deliberate in it with the fullback, with the quarterback, with the running back, with guys coming in motion. They're going to run the ball between the tackles.
Yeah, we on the same
They're going to run the ball between the tackles. I know that's going to happen. I don't know if the offensive line can protect Jeff Sims to just stand back there and look around, but I do know sprint out stuff, some waggle stuff, getting the ball the backs, getting the ball to tight end. I think he's going to have an efficient. First of all, I got a dinner bet with Sam McEwen that he at the end of the season is 63% completion rate or better.
Ooh,
63%.
What y'all betting? Steak?
We're going to go out to eat.
Okay.
Maybe might be Taco Bell. I don't know. Maybe it's Let It Fly Sports Bar.
Right.
We got to bet on that. So I think he's going to be efficient enough tonight. And I think Nebraska has spent so much time. They hired a full-time special teams coach. Coach Foley has worked on them. They have we know how good their kicker is. Tristan Alvano is a clutch kicker. Yeah. Their punter's one of the best punters in the Big Ten. Yep. I think they're going to put some really good guys to return it and cover. I think they win the special teams battle.
Yep. All right.
With all that said, I'm picking Minnesota 27-20.
There you go.
I told you.
No, you did.
Months ago.
You did.
I'm picking Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So for me,
yeah.
First of all, my eyes are on that offensive line.
Yeah.
That straight up.
They have struggled.
From a prediction standpoint, I'm with you. I feel like Nebraska is going to have their best chance of going between, and running the ball up the middle against Minnesota. Yep. I also do predict that Minnesota is going to be heavy leaning on their running back. Heavy. I think so.
I will see. I think they have some really talented wide receivers this year.
I just think
talented wide receivers. Okay.
And the reason why I say that is just because I feel like I think the 3-5 defense is nice.
It is.
And I think that Minnesota is going to learn and observe early and feel like our best chance of kind of getting a making a run is running the football.
Okay. And that's certainly a possibility.
Right.
Nebraska's going to have to stop the run against Minnesota. There's no doubt.
And then I also predicted that Jeff Sims will have his coming out party of showing that he's our leader.
Okay. I like that.
Those are my predictions.
He's going to show he's a leader.
Yes. And I think that Nebraska also loses the game, but I think it is by the spread.
So you think 7 points?
I think 7 points.
Yeah, it was 7.5 when I did it. I thought that they could cover the 7.5 for the 7.5, or
but who am I? I'm just a fan,
or it's
right?
a push.
Just
or
it's a push. Fan,
you have a score?
I think it's in the mid 20s, like 27-20, like you.
Like me, somewhere in there.
So,
okay,
yeah.
all right. Want to give you a reminder, we always do. Never a bad time
to get that Omaha
to
steak.
give or get.
No, get.
Not
for me,
forget.
I get.
But sometimes you gotta be a
giver. You want to hear
giver.
something crazy?
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you about my AC going out for a week?
That was crazy, man.
And I
that's
took
a nightmare.
I took all the steak in my freezer.
Yeah.
My AC went out, not my deep freezer.
Oh, okay. You had to take it. Okay. So you still had power.
I went home.
Yeah.
And I was getting them Omaha steaks.
Yeah.
I ate good and went back to the in-laws.
And went back to the. I'm glad you had that place to go. I'm glad you had a place to go. Reminder again, they have great packages out there right now. I particularly just got one. You can check my social media.
Yeah.
Just got a great Omaha Steaks package. It had the brand new hamburgers.
Yeah.
Now 6-ounce hamburgers. They're great. I had the hot dogs, the sausage. It's just everything you possibly want. Of course, the steaks
Phenomenal.
as well.
Christmas, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, any day, every day. It's
Tuesday.
a great day for Omaha Steaks.
Thursday.
Game day.
Every game day is the perfect day for it. Reminder, it is always a great gift. And if you can't think of something, because some people it's hard to buy for, you'd be like, I'm going to buy them 6 or 7 steaks.
I know I was thinking about that.
Thank you very much. Exactly. We want to thank Eric Crouch. We appreciate
Legend.
the Heisman Trophy winner for coming in, your favorite Husker.
Yeah.
Phil McClain,
my guy.
Executive producer, getting stuff done, setting it up to get the interview in here
Val.
as well.
I really wanted to shout him first.
Val
shout.
Elvis the King, not on the Wheels of Steel tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Actually was on kid duty earlier.
I respect it.
He had Phil's daughter.
I just had a gender reveal, so I understand.
He was keeping her doing really well.
Yeah.
You have a girl coming.
I got a girl.
coming
I got
outside.
a son.
Boy and girl. That's perfect.
That's going to get recruited by Creighton.
Yeah.
Maybe go play.
Yeah.
And I got a girl that might go play too.
Nebraska volleyball.
Yeah.
But on the Wheels of Steel, Mac. We got to get a nickname for Mac.
Mac.
I got the King. Just Phil. And Mac needs a nickname.
We're going to figure that out.
All right. not Mac Jones. That's who he is. He's not Mac Jones. Thanks very much for joining us. We appreciate it. Of course, you can always follow us. We ask you to subscribe when you're checking us out on YouTube. We ask you when you follow us on any of the social medias to like those as well so we can get some help as well. We really appreciate that. And take it away.
Hey, it's your boy Josh Jones with my man Michael Severe. You know how we do it. It's a Let It Fly show.
I'll wait from the start of the music.